Hi everybody and welcome to A-Level Business. My name's Miss Philbin and I am one of the A-Level teachers. So we're going to start off with a little bit about what happens in sixth form. We have 9 lessons per cycle, and normally you'd have 5 lessons with teacher A and 4 lessons with teacher B. So you always have a minimum of 2 teachers across A-Level. Possible teachers for next year are myself, Mr. Jamil and Miss Gill. So business is a new A level. It was reformed in 2015, and that means that we are now linear. That means that all of the exams are going to go ahead and the end of year 13, which will for you guys will be end of May, beginning of June 2022. There are 3 exams that you're going to study. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about those in a minute, but they will all take place at the end of that second year. So, some of the year 12 content that you're going to be studying, you have 2 themes that you'll cover each year, and theme 1 and theme 2 happen in year 12, and theme 3 and theme 4 happen in year 13. So, theme 1 is marketing and people, and you look at firstly, entrepreneurs, some of the different entrepreneurs that exist and why they would want to start a business, some of their motives for doing that, some of the challenges that they're going to have, and in general, what makes a good entrepreneur. You're then going to look at things like the market, and that covers things like supply and demand. It covers something called price elasticity of demand, and that's how, if you change the price of something, what's going to happen to the demand of that. If price goes up, is that going to make it seem more desirable, or is that going to drive people to buy competitors' items? Or if price goes down equally, are more people going to buy, or actually do people not need anymore? For example, if the price of milk goes up or down, chances are people are still going to buy the same amount of milk. It's a necessity item, so the demand's not going to change that much. You're also going to look at the 4 Ps. And that's the 4 Ps of marketing. So price, product, place, and promotion. And all of those things have to be considered before you can start thinking about how you're going to encourage customers to buy these items. Managing people. So that looks at organizational structures, why somebody is a good leader, why somebody isn't a good leader, how to motivate your staff. And it looks at the theories behind that as well. That one's quite theory heavy. And also meeting customer needs, how you can use all of that information in general to make a product that meets those needs. And then theme 2 is all about finance, and there's quite a lot of calculations in here, but it looks at raising finance, so things like sources of finance, how you can build something, or how you can build money from somewhere, financial planning, managing finance, resource management, and external influences. So things like revenue, cost, profit comes up in there, interest rates, budgeting, loads of different, normally financial driven theories come up in that one. And then this is the year 13 content. The year 12 content is similar to what you look at GCSE. We don't have a requirement where you have to have done GCSE previously to look at A-level business. So some of those theories you will recognise already, and we go into them in more detail, whereas year 13 is completely new. So theme 3 is business decisions and strategy. So looking at business objectives, why they would change from looking at something like survival to overall growth, different types of business growth. So that might be organic, which is like releasing a new product line or trying to grow into different countries, and inorganic, which is mergers and takeovers, and why businesses would buy each other and stuff like that. Why would Kraft, now called Mondelez, have bought Cadbury? Why would Orange and T-Mobile merge to make EE, that kind of stuff. Decision-making techniques, and that one is quite maths orientated again. You look at things like average rate of return, you look at payback period, you look at decision trees, which is also something that comes up in A-level maths. You look at critical path analysis. There's loads of stuff in there that is going to be quite numbers heavy, but how you interpret that data. So what you can get from those numbers, basically. Influences on business decisions, how you want to run your business structure looks at that quite a lot. So if you're a public limited company, those shareholders are going to want a return on their investment. So how you're going to give that to them might change as if you're a small family run business that's looking at how they can invest in the community that they operate in, that kind of stuff. Competitiveness and managing change also comes up in there. And then the last theme is global business. And that's how businesses change the way they operate when they operate in more than one country, and how things might differ, how McDonald's has different menus across the world, and Coca-Cola has over 60 recipes of Coke in different countries that they operate in. So that was quite exciting. So I spoke briefly about the exams that you're going to have. You're going to have 3 exams. You have to sit those at the summer of the end exam season, and that means at the end of year 13. They are 100 marks each and 2 hours long. And then this is the breakdown for some of the papers. So paper 1 looks at theme 1 and theme 4, and that was marketing and global business. That is 35% of your A-level grade. Paper 2 is also 35%, and that's mainly numbers driven. So you're going to have the theme 2, which is the finance option, and theme 3, which was that strategy option. Again, 35%. And then paper 3 is slightly different. That one's called something called a synoptic paper, and that covers all 4 themes that you will have looked at in paper 1 and paper 2, but it gives you a pre-release context, and that is normally released in the December time of year 13. So previously we've had the global chocolate market, we've had the UK health and fitness industry, we've had UK holidays, and we've also had UK entertainment industries. And that is given, and you have to research it, and all of the questions are going to be based on that. The research cannot be taken into the exam, but it does need to be remembered to be able to use in that those questions. And that's also 100 marks and 2 hours long, but that's only 30% of your A-level grade, that one. The key with that one is that questions can be drawn from all 4 themes, so that could come from anywhere. So your main assessment objectives then, and you will recognise some of these already, particularly if you've done GCSE business, you have to know knowledge, application, analysis and evaluation. Knowledge is, can you prove that you have studied business for 2 years by the time that you get your exams? What do you know about business, and how's that going to change based on different businesses? And then application is using that knowledge to apply it to a given scenario about a business. Is your knowledge going to differ and your opinion's going to change based on Ryanair and McDonald's? You know, thinking about different businesses and how you can really apply what you've learned. AO3 analysis is using something that I like to call so what. What does that mean for Ryanair? How's that going to change based on who their competitors are? What's that going to mean for their current situation? Ryanair at the moment are going to be really struggling because nobody's able to fly anywhere very easily. So what's that going to mean for them? And then AO4, which is the last one, is your evaluation skills. Can you look at all of that information that you've looked at previously in AO1, 2, and 3 and come to a conclusion or a recommendation for that given business? So skills that you'll develop in A-level business, reading business-related texts, understanding and analysing problems. You'll really become a problem solver with A-level business because you have to give a recommendation, particularly in those 20 markers. Offering solutions to those problems, thinking within a business context, what that means again for those particular businesses, writing clearly and concisely, and that has to be done in a given time frame, which is quite tough, and interpreting data and those implications. So really quickly then, what we would expect of you as the business department: full attendance. If for whatever reason you do not have full attendance, you need to make sure that you are coming and speaking to your teacher and collecting the catch-up work. That is your responsibility to make sure that you have the work if you are missing any lessons. But ideally, we expect over 95% attendance. Both classwork and homework should be completed on time and handed into your teacher. You will make your best effort. We work exceptionally hard in the business department to make sure that we give you your best education possible, and we want the same from you. You have to give your best and try your hardest for those lessons and out of school. Show an interest in business, read around the subject. Reading the news is hugely beneficial for us. Catching up on all work that you may have missed, respecting staff, students and property, and seeking help if you have any issues before they become serious problems. We are hugely approachable. Come and speak to us at any time if you need anything, and we are more than happy to help. Okay, your task then. So, what I would like you to do is pick one of the following businesses, and these businesses have all been affected in some way by the pandemic that's happened in 2020 with COVID-19. So, what I would like you to do is tell me what's going on with those businesses. You know, have some of them thrived? Have some of them said that they're going to be making job cuts? What has happened to these businesses over this time? And I want you to try and tell me how that's going to affect anybody that's interested in that business, any stakeholder groups that you can think of. So it's already got on there in question 3, customers and suppliers. But I want you to think about competitors, how it's likely to affect the UK government if they're not paying as much tax, for example, the local communities that they serve in, the employers that work for them. I do not mind who you pick, but I want you to try and think of as many different people as possible. And I'd quite like that to be written up in a 1-page report format. But I'll give you some more details of that in a PDF that's going to be attached to the Google Drive. I hope you come to love A-level business as much as I do. I'm absolutely thrilled that you've all chosen to pick it and to carry on into sixth form. Um, any questions or anything like that, please drop me an email. It's jphilbin@bestacademies.org.uk, but I'll put some information on the Google Drive of that as well. And I look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you very much. Bye.